Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for another stream. As always, on a Tuesday evening, we're back for the transfer tips video for Double Game Week 28. We hope everyone's having a good start to the week. How you doing, Jordan?
Yeah, very good. Hopefully everyone else is having a nice week as well. Welcome to the stream. And obviously another exciting game week, another double. So we're here to give you the best advice on what players you think you should buy, sell, hold, and ignore.
Brilliant. So let's kick it off with the buys. The first pick I've gone with is Morris of Luton. Now, this one won't be a surprise shock pick, I don't think. So Morris is someone, a lot of us, I think, are going to be looking at. He has actually been in very good form recently as well. So as you guys can see, he did get a goal against Newcastle and an assist for the 11-pointer. He also got a goal against Sheffield in game week 24. And in the double game week 25, he also got a goal, I believe, as well, against Man United, wasn't it? Or was it Liverpool?
Yeah, I think it was Liverpool.
I'm going to double check. But he definitely scored, as I said, in that game week as well. So he's been in a bit of form. So let's have a look. So he did score against Aston Villa, and then he did score against Man United. So yeah, he did score against Man United. Against Liverpool, obviously, he didn't score. But in game week 27, Aston Villa goal as well. So he's been on a very good bit of form, really. And Morris, and again, he's got a double game week coming up against Crystal Palace and Bournemouth as well. 2 away games, but it's a double nonetheless. And I will be bringing Morris in, I believe, as well for Haaland, who will come on to in a sec. That's one I'm looking at for my own team. His ownership is around 6%. So I expect it to go up a lot. He also, importantly, has a fixture in game week 29 as well, when we know the likes of Haaland, etc., will blank. So yeah, I like Morris as a pick. He's been in excellent form. He's 8 goals and 6 assists playing in that Luton side. It's not a bad return at all. And he's also, expected goals per 90, 0.4, which is decent. He's very cheap at 5.1 million. And definitely, if you can bring in Morris, I think he is a player that I recommend you bring in ahead of that double, and then he plays in the blank. Let's move on, Jordan, to the next buy. You've gone with Bowen as a buy. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, you might be surprised. Bowen obviously doesn't play more than one fixture. He is a single game player, but I think I've decided to go a bit different because a lot of us will be looking, obviously, to go with the doubles in 28, but I'm looking at more of a player that some people might not look at in terms of he might have a good game as a single fixture. And I think that Burnley at home one in 28, I think is a real good one for Bowen, especially with his hat trick, obviously in 26. I think that gave a massive boost for people looking at, obviously, West Ham assets, and seeing Bowen score a hat trick isn't a coincidence, because since Paqueta came back in that fixture, West Ham's attack looks much more better just from that one player difference. And I feel like West Ham have a bit of might have a bit of boost now that Paqueta's back in the team. The fixtures after that obviously are a bit tough and a bit of mixture, but he does have a fixture in 29 as well, where most players will blank too. So that's another bonus of why Bowen could possibly be on the radar for some people as well. He did pick up an assist as well against Everton away. So he hasn't, since obviously his many blanks before that time, before the hat trick, he seems to be getting a bit of form going. So that is why I've gone with Bowen as a buy, to just be different. And a lot of us will be popular on the other players like Bournemouth and Luton, for example. But I've gone with obviously Bowen for West Ham.
Okay, nice one. So Bowen as well, we recommend as a buy. Let's move on to some players that we think you should be looking to sell and then get rid of out of your teams. I've gone with the first one, and that might be controversial. Again, it's Erling Haaland. Now, Erling Haaland has been transferred out by 58,000 managers already. I think it depends as well. Erling Haaland being a sell. So I think if you're wildcarding in game week 30 or game week 31, I definitely think you can get away with selling Haaland, especially when you take a look at Haaland's next 3 fixtures. He's got Liverpool away, which is going to be a tough game for Man City. and then he's got a blank game week where he doesn't play, and then he's got Arsenal at home. So two of the toughest teams in the next three. Um, when you compare that to Morris, who Morris has a double in 28 and he has a fixture in 29 as well. If you don't have a wild card, I definitely recommend keeping Haaland. I'd say it does depend on your wild card horizon, but because I'm going to be wild carding in game week 31 and I'm going to wild card Haaland back in, I'm of the opinion you can get away with Haaland for the next three, especially when you've got a player like Morris who's got three fixtures instead of Haaland's one against Liverpool. So Morris, you get three games out of him v Haaland against Liverpool. And when you look at captaincy as well, I don't think a lot of managers will be captaining Haaland in game week 28 anyway, because most of us are going to captain Solanke. So you don't have to worry about effective ownership there because majority of us won't even go Haaland. 29, you'd have to worry he's not got a fixture. And even in game week 30, I'm not sure many managers will be captaining Haaland anyway, because there are other better fixtures for other players. So for me, I'm willing to take that risk and get rid of Haaland for until game week 31 when I look to get him back in. Obviously, we know Haaland, he's an excellent player. Selling him for Morris, sounds crazy, but it is the doubles and the blanks that make us, that makes me think it is worth it. He's been in form, Haaland as well, but I think if you're going to get rid of Haaland, if you want to go against it, now is the time to do it, especially because of that blank fixture and the two tough games sandwiched as well. And I will be probably getting rid of Haaland in my own team. And yeah, that's why I think he's a sell. So let me know what you guys think as well. What's your plans with Haaland? If you're wildcarding in 31, are you also getting rid of Haaland? Do let us know in the chat below. But yeah, he's the first sell I've gone with. Let's pull up the next sell, Jordan. Who you recommended? I mean, you've gone Trippier. Talk us through why you've selected Trippier as a sell.
Yeah, I think if we go back to obviously game at 27, where he only played literally a couple of minutes in that game, he actually came off injured, turns out, and obviously he missed out on a clean sheet against that Wolves at home fixture. So he only got 1 point, which I think annoyed a lot of owners because Trippier was potentially on for a nice haul if he was to play the rest of that game. But yeah, I think he definitely is a sell regardless. He has Chelsea away next, and he also blanks in obviously 29 as well. So he hasn't got a good fixture before the blank, and he won't have a good one until game week 30. So there's no real point keeping Trippier, especially he could possibly be a doubt for that Chelsea away game as well, as we don't know how serious his injury actually is yet until we hear the press conference of Eddie Howe. So I think for me, he's definitely a sell. 6.9 million as well. He's a lot of money to hold up in your team, and I think at this current moment we're looking at cheaper players, obviously to fund later down the line if we want players like Salah, for example, when he's back fit. And I think selling Trippier will leave a lot of that cash needed to fund the move as well. And a lot of people have already transferred out Trippier, 197,000 so far. That took him out of the teams, which makes sense. I mean, I say this is the right time to do it now. Otherwise, you might as well hold on to him when he has West Ham in game week 30, where the fixtures actually become more nicer for Newcastle. But in terms of their form, it is up and down whether they are keeping that form good, obviously at home especially. But again, it all depends on how serious his injury is if you're looking to either hold him. But I think he's a sell for me, Trippier.
Okay. Let's move on to some players that we think you should be looking to hold on to. Now, these are players that have been transferred out by a lot of managers, but we think, you should give a bit more time to. First one I've gone with as my option is Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro has already been transferred out by over 80,000 managers because obviously we know he's missed the last couple of games due to injury against Wolves and against Palace. However, we believe he's back in training soon and he could feature against Aston Villa. The reason why I wouldn't be selling Pedro Porro is because of game week 29. We know Spurs are one of the teams that have a fixture, and we know Pedro Porro will actually be available for that game. So, see how he does against Aston Villa. If he starts, great. If he's on the bench, that's still also very good news because we're only going to want him for 29. And if you're like me, where you're not going to free hit, then definitely keep hold of him because he does have a fixture. So, we know Pedro Porro's, 8 assists so far this season. He's very attacking. Fulham away is not a bad fixture at all. And I think he's going to be one of the better defenders to own on a free hit or just normal on your team, especially going into that game week. And yeah, we know Pedro Porro has performed when he's been fit. He's a big miss for Spurs in the back line in terms of the attacking threat. So in terms of the chip strategies, guys, definitely look to hold on to your Spurs assets and try get away with benching them if you can, especially someone like Porro. But yeah, next up, Jordan, you've gone with as a hold as well. Solanke, talk us through this one.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty obvious hold. I think some managers have actually sold them, which I'm not sure what reason that is to be, because there was obviously that flag scare of him being injured, but that he's literally cleared of that. It's no longer an issue. He seems to be fit for that double against Sheffield United and Luton at home, which is a thankful hope that he plays both and hopefully stays fit for both. But yeah, this seems a pretty standard. He obviously doubles in 28, even though he has a blank in 29. It's still good. If you are free hitting, doesn't really matter now at this point, because if you are free hitting that 29 fixture where he has the blank, you can easily get a player in for him if you are using a chip in that game week. So yeah, it's pretty easy to hold on to Solanke for the double, and then whatever you do after the double is up to your choice.
Yeah, definitely look into holding him as a big captaincy option as well. Some people might apply the triple captaincy as well. I think he will be majority captain like pick this week over Haaland, as I was saying earlier. Let's move on to some players that we recommend you should ignore this game week. First one up, I've gone with Virgil van Dijk. Now, we know Virgil van Dijk's been in excellent form for Liverpool. He's been sort of the bedrock of Liverpool. You know, they've had a lot of injuries at the back line. He's the one constant that's been in the team. He obviously scored a winner as well, or to sort of get a winner in the cup final. Then he went and backed it up again, scored a goal, I believe, against, I think it was Luton, if I remember correctly, with a 10-pointer in Double Gameweek 25. Then he also scored against, sorry, he got an assist. No, he didn't get an assist. He got a clean sheet. My bad. He got a clean sheet in Liverpool's 1-0 late winner in Game Week 27. And we know Virgil's been on form. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists so far this season. However, I don't think it's the right time to be looking to bring him in, especially when he's got Man City at home next. But Liverpool could keep a clean sheet. It's not likely. Obviously, he is at Anfield, but I wouldn't be looking to bring Virgil in ahead of playing the toughest game Liverpool have left for the season, really, and that is Man City. Then after that, it's a blank game week where he won't have a fixture. So the next 2 is just City and a blank. And then after that, maybe you can consider bringing him back in. But for the next game week, definitely recommend you ignore Virgil and then, see how he does against Man City. But yeah, that's my ignore for this week. Jordan, who you've gone with?
I have gone with Foden. For me, as an ignore, might seem a bit surprising, but I think if I explain it, it does make a bit of sense why I think Foden shouldn't be brought in now. If you haven't obviously brought him in at this point, then he's got Liverpool away. I don't see that being a very high scoring fixture. That could possibly be 1 goal in it between either side, and it could be very fortunate if Foden actually gets a return from this fixture. So it's a tough one, hard to call. I don't think I would gamble bringing Foden in for this game week, especially when he's had great success in the previous game weeks, especially in 23 when he played Brentford, got that hat trick, and obviously in 26 scored a goal against Bournemouth, and then now just scored 2 against Man United at home. You've missed out on 3 great returns for Foden, and I feel like now there's no point of bringing him in up to this point. He's got tough fixtures even after the blank when he plays Arsenal at home as well, and then arguably you could say Aston Villa at home is a neutral one where anything could happen in that game. But then the fixture swing does happen in 32, so it is late on. But at this current moment, the fixtures are too difficult, I think, to bring Foden in, as well as the blank that he has in between that week. So yeah, for me, he's definitely ignored. 130,000 transfers, though, kind of you could say a knee jerk in terms of that 15-point he just scored. Maybe people are looking at that and thinking Foden could be a good potential asset for Liverpool away, but honestly, I think that's going to be tough at Anfield.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so those are the players, guys. Just quickly want to recap the 8 players we've selected, Jordan.
Yeah, so apologies, my screen is frozen.
Okay,
there we go. Yeah, so yeah, for the players we think you should buy, we've gone with Morris and Bowen. The players we think you should sell are Haaland and Trippier. The players we think you should hold on to are Pedro Porro and Solanke. And the players we think you should ignore are Virgil and Foden.
Okay, brilliant. So those are the 8 picks we've gone with, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Also, please make sure you do like the stream if you are enjoying the content, and also make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well, so you don't miss out on when we go live. So like the stream and subscribe as well. Take a few comments and then we will wrap it up. James says Haaland to Morris. Yeah, look, that's what I'm looking at this week. Tune in to see whether I do it. I'm 99% sure I will. Also, will Senesi miss the whole of the double game week? Because if he does, I might switch him for Kabore. But if not, I will keep. So there's actually some rumors coming out that Senesi could miss a month of football. So if he is, that's true. I would be looking to get rid of Senesi, and I think he's an easy sell now. I doubt he's going to play the double. So if you've got Senesi, obviously it's a bit unlucky for the owners that bought him in, but I think definitely he's a sell now because it looks like he's going to miss about a month of football.
Yeah, it was such bad timing of that injury because he's been fine the whole season, and just before this double game week gets injured with a hamstring. So unfortunate.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a replacement, you could go to Zabani, his teammate in defense. So I definitely look to bring Zabani in instead of Kabore. And Kabore is not the option I'd go with at Luton. I'd rather go for like a Doughty at Luton instead. I should be fine selling without a wild card if I leave enough money in the bank to easily get him back. I think he means about Haaland. But yeah, in regards to Haaland, obviously he had a few price rises. He's now 14.5 million. So your value is decent. I think my team value is not too bad. So I would be able to bring him back in pretty easily. So yeah, you got to weigh that up, guys, as well. But yeah, it will be interesting to see, the Haaland in the next 2 or 3 game weeks. And a lot of us, are going to be keeping him. So we know he can punish non-owners as well. But yeah, should be a good game week. Double game week 28. Looking excited to it. You'll see my transfer plans on Thursday. I've got a few, hits potentially I could be taking. So make sure you do tune in for that. But yeah, guys, like the stream, subscribe as well. And that is it from us. Tune in on Thursday, guys, for the team selection video. And yeah, hopefully you guys do enjoy the football on this. I think Bayern Munich and PSG are also playing Champions League football at the moment. So probably go ahead and catch some of that. But yeah, that's everything for me. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
Yeah, just thank you guys for watching. Definitely stay tuned for that team selection on Thursday. It should be very interesting on both our sides. There's a lot to decide and plan, and yeah, a lot to look forward to in that. So until then, take care, and yeah, enjoy the football tonight.